Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Neighborhood Conversations. It's such a privilege to be in your neighborhood today. Wherever you are, whether you're driving in your car, whether you're sitting down, whether you're laying in bed, it's a pleasure to be in your community today. I'm your host, Templeton Sawyer, and it's a pleasure to be talking about career development today. Um, Career development is really important. It brings a lot of different passion, it brings a lot of different connection, it brings a lot of creative thoughts. And we have an amazing individual, Anne MacGregor from Career Connections, who brings a lot of knowledge as an employment engagement specialist. Welcome, Anne. How are you?
Well, thank you. You're very kind to say that. I'm
Uh,
still fairly new in this role,
yeah, yeah.
and every day's been a great learning experience. And this is a brand new career for me.
Oh, nice.
I was working in radio
Hmm.
for 20 plus years here in New Glasgow, where I'm located, and I just made the leap to a new career.
Right.
And I always talk about transferable skills
Yes.
because the skills I had that I acquired over the years working at the local radio station that I brought to my employer engagement specialist role has been very valuable, but much to learn, and I've really been enjoying it so far.
Wow, and that's really good that we're talking about career passion, and we're talking about connection. And I may be jumping ahead, but how did you enjoy your career in radio? Like, what made you make the shift at that point? I may be
Oh,
starting the conversation in a different way, but let's jump into that. Like, yeah.
sure. Yeah. Well, goodness, I love radio, and I had a blast in my job. I did various jobs when I was in radio, but my main one was hosting the morning show here
Nice.
at our local radio station in New Glasgow, which is a Stingray station, 94.1 The Breeze. Anyway, I was really enjoying my time there, and again, almost 22 years I was in
Wow.
that business.
Wow.
But I don't know, it just felt like it was time to try something new, and there'd been some changes at the station, and I just thought, why not give it a go? And I took a leap of faith because it was really scary. I hadn't worked on a resume in years.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
actually, it's kind of neat because a few years ago, I actually came into Career Connections where I now work, and I met with a case manager because I
Mhm.
didn't quite know how to put onto paper what I did on a day-to-day basis and
Yeah.
how that looked on a resume. And I have a very sort of different
Yeah.
background, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what does that look like? What does life look like outside of radio? So
Right.
we worked on a resume, and shout out to Nicole, she was amazing. And I just said, if you ever see something come along that you think I might be well suited for, throw it my way. And I only ever applied for one other job besides this one. And when I did apply for this one, I got granted an interview, and it went wonderful. And then I got offered the job, and I could
Wow.
not believe it. It was all like I felt like I
Wow.
got on this roller coaster, and it just started rolling. And it was before I knew it, I was here, and I was so nervous because I hadn't done anything else in my adult life, other than radio. So I thought, gosh, I hope I like it. And I love it. I love it. It's
Yeah.
so engaging. It
Yeah.
feels so familiar to me. Like I'm still
Right.
out in the community,
Yeah.
meeting and talking with people. And I know so many people too, just from my days of being at the station. And it has been, again, I'm a big cheerleader for transferable skills because while I didn't quite fit on paper, I do in the role.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's just amazing. And congratulations on
Thank
being
you.
in that shift, and also finding something that you're still passionate about is really important, and it brings that connection. And I know it was so hard for you to like transition from one
Oh,
passion of a career and moving
yeah.
into something that's totally different. But like you said, the engagement piece and the community piece
Yep.
is still there, which is key to you. And I feel like for me that's key as well. That brings that light. I want to touch on your new role. Like, tell us about what is
Sure.
an employment engagement specialist. Like, that's a really unique name
Right.
and
I know.
weird title, I would say. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, it's so funny too because even when I was interviewing for the role, I didn't quite know what it was about. Like I read like the overview, but I until you're in it, you can't really get a handle on it. So
Right, right.
I feel like I know the role really well now, but
Yeah.
I'm always learning, as I mentioned. But basically, I'm here to offer support to local employers with recruitment, retaining employees, accessing training resources, HR tools, labor market information, government programs, including wage subsidies. The START program is one that's in particular that's very popular with employers. I also help to organize events.
Wow,
I
it's
recently
amazing.
helped to organize a employer forum and mini job fair that was held at our local wellness center, and lunch and learns. And I'm working now on a big spring job fair that will have over 50
Wow.
employers in
Mm,
attendance. So
nice,
I'm
nice.
excited and nervous. And it's
Yeah,
again, like every day is different. And
yeah.
I like, for instance, yesterday I spent the majority of the day adding jobs because I'm getting constantly calls and emails
Right.
and employers reaching out. They're looking to hire. So that takes up a lot of my time. We've been really busy here in Pictou County with job openings, so
That's
as it is
amazing.
everywhere. But it's been busy, and my days fly by before, like, I start at 8, which is another nice thing, a different thing in my world, because I used to get up so early, but I have a nice Monday to Friday, 8:30 to
Nice.
4:30.
That's right. That's
Yeah, I
right.
love it.
Gotta
Weekends
like
off.
that. Gotta like that
Yeah,
job. Yeah,
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 it's
yeah, yeah.
great. I thoroughly enjoy it, and it's been a wonderful learning experience as well. I've also had lots of opportunities to learn. I'm currently taking HR Essentials
Oh,
course, which
yeah,
is very interesting. Learning a lot from that. So I always say, come in with a willingness to learn. That's one of the
yeah.
great skills to have. If you
Very
want to
important.
learn, yeah, yeah, you can
Yeah.
do anything.
Yeah, and that's important. Like you have to be willing, and I can see that you're very passionate about the role, and I can see how excited it brings. And like you
Yeah,
said, if you can wake up every morning feeling passionate about the job that
yeah,
you are, that means it's a good fit. It brings the
yeah,
light to you and all that good stuff. That leads me to like my next question: can passion bring light to a job? Like you're bringing light to a new opportunity. You're bringing light to something that you've never stepped into, but
yeah,
you've made it your light, your comfort area where you can grow and develop, and also like you're being open at the same time. So
yeah.
that can passion bring light to a job?
Sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Like I really I think I radiate excitement.
yeah,
I wonder, will this shine sort of go away one day, but I think I get such a like a wonderful thrill if I
yeah,
have an employer that's looking to hire, and then maybe somebody has come to the center here
right,
and they're connected with the employer and they end up getting hired. We got a little bell that we ring. Like,
right.
I cannot tell
Oh
you the
wow, a
joy I
little bell
feel.
too.
Oh, we've
Oh
got a bell.
wow. Oh
There's a bell.
wow.
And
Okay.
it feels great. And I think my passion is just, I've always been very passionate about being engaged with the community and helping the
Hmm.
community. And this feels like I can actually see it in action,
Yeah,
because it was different. I felt a little removed when I was on the radio, because although I was offering a service to people, I never
yeah,
saw people in person on a day to day basis like I do
yeah,
here, or talk one on one like I do. So in that way, it's so rewarding, and
yeah.
that feeling of it being so rewarding, then that comes the passion for just feeling so excited about this great opportunity that I've had. I don't take it.
Totally.
I totally love it. I really
Yeah.
do.
Wow. Yeah, and um, and like some people don't teach passion to individuals and community to say, hey, let your passion spring up in order to find your area of interest. Let your
Yep.
passion spring up as you continue, because passion is a good skill. It's a good skill to have it in confidence connected to passion. It's a good skill to have when
Yeah.
and I feel like that's what employers want. They want someone who's passionate about their job. They want someone who wants to connect in an amazing way. And you speak about your passion. You speak about the area of what you celebrate in individuals with that bell. That I feel like we need a bell
Oh,
at teamwork now
the bell's
and
the best.
celebrate. Yes, like that's like an
It's
amazing
great.
piece, and it's
Yeah.
really key and really important. What does passionate
Yeah.
um look like for an individual? What does passionate look like for an individual who is seeking
Mm,
a job, not to lose hope, not to lose
yeah.
a worry? I feel like sometimes you're passionate, but then sometimes you may not have the passion that you need to, like, apply for put a resume, or to look for, even to look for a job, or to even know if the job is the right fit. Like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think one of my words that I use so much these days, and perhaps it's because it's in my job title, but is
yeah,
engagement.
yeah,
Being engaged with the community, being engaged in your job.
right,
Um, it's such an important piece, I
yeah,
think, in your day-to-day job, whatever it may be. If you're engaged, whether it's customer service, if the people that are coming in and you're engaging with them, and I
right,
mean really engaging, because I mean, don't get me wrong, like I've had my days where you just kind of you go in, you do the job, you go home.
yeah,
And but when you're really into it, when you're really feeling it,
yeah,
and you put your heart into it and you're
yeah,
passionate about it,
mm-hmm,
I think
mm-hmm,
that really does not only motivate you, but could motivate your team as well around you. So
yeah.
I think engagement is my big takeaway for sure when it comes to that piece. Yeah.
Yeah, and that engagement piece is really good. That engagement piece has a really good connection, and understanding piece, where people feel heard, people feel like they're a part
Mm-hmm.
of something that they want to belong. And belonging is so important as well,
Yeah,
that connects with that engagement piece as well. And so
that's
what
right.
is your belonging piece? What is your humbling piece of movement to make you continuously passionate to do what you do, all that good stuff. And that connects with, when you have passion, you, like, skills brings that passion as well, and you get to
Yeah.
develop different
Yep.
other skills, and you get to develop different other experiences when you're so passionate. It's like you just a
Yes.
spring of creativity. You just, like, just rain down the creativity and
Yeah.
all that good stuff. And so,
Yeah.
what are top three skills needed to boost someone in any career industry? What is top three skills you would say? Yeah.
Well, a commitment to learning,
Mm, mm-hmm.
that willingness to learn. And when I'm speaking with employers as well, I often try to include that on job descriptions if they would like to, include it.
Right.
It's a willingness to learn. Like, I never turned down a learning opportunity.
No.
I've had so many great opportunities since I
Yeah.
started in this role to
Right.
take different courses
Mm-hmm.
and take part in events, and it's just networking and otherwise, and it's been wonderful. And all of those little pieces along the way, they will, I think, help you in whatever role it happens to be. I think as well, integrity,
Mm-hmm.
strong code of ethics,
Mm-hmm.
and innovative.
Yeah.
Innovative thinking, being
Yeah.
innovative
Yeah.
in what you do, and I think that really helps to again, it's a motivation for yourself and the team around you. So those would be
Wow.
my three. Yeah.
I look forward to my family's security in the future. That's the main goal as a father.
The empowerment from changing careers has really just made me want to get out of bed in the morning.
I'm looking forward to growing my business. So I want to hire people like I was hired. I want to give guys that chance.
Il me fera plaisir de continuer à travailler avec les immigrants francophones en Nouvelle-Écosse.
I'm looking forward to the financial freedom that I never had before.
Yeah, that's really important, in order to help people move forward.
Hmm.
And yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. Um, when you're developing different areas of skills, when you're moving forward in career changes and career shifts,
Hmm.
challenges comes along the way.
Yep.
And we know that the employment world, it brings a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of jobs there, but there's a
Yep.
lot of not right fit candidates, not a lot of
Hmm.
experiences going on there. What are some career challenges individuals face in today? Like, what have you been seeing, when you look at the people in Pictou County, but also in Nova Scotia in
Yeah.
general? Yeah, yeah.
Yep. So cost of living for sure. I mean,
Sure.
with inflation, everything right now,
Yeah.
when job seekers are looking at those job ads, I
Mm.
know for sure they're one of the first things that they're going to be looking out for is wages. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously you want to be happy in your job and you want to find something that's well suited to you, but you've got to, put gas in the car, food on the
Right.
table, pay
Yeah.
rent, mortgage, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And it's so important right now. Like, I cannot tell you how I always recommend to employers. It's not mandatory, but I do recommend if they can include a wage or a wage range. It's
Right.
it's quite meaningful when job
Hmm.
seekers are going through. There's so much out there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many jobs right now, which is great,
Yeah.
but people are going to be looking for that right fit, and
Hmm.
that also includes
Yeah.
being able to have a nice work-life balance,
Yeah.
that wages that are appropriate for for living. That cost of
Yeah.
living is just, I
Right.
mean, everybody knows where we're at right now with
Yeah.
that. So
No, totally,
yeah.
totally. Yeah. Yeah.
And for those that are working, I would say a labor shortage is also putting a strain not only on employers because they're short staffed, but anyone working in an environment that is short staffed,
Yeah.
that puts extra strain on people as well. So those are a couple of career challenges that come to mind immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, and I totally agree. Especially the housing crisis is moving
Yeah.
in so much ways. I've been having conversations about supporting homeless people in employment, in education, and housing, and I know that the employment rate. I look at the employment rate towards homeless people. It's so like the employment is not like it's just not targeted towards supporting them in
Hmm.
this moment, and it's so hard and devastating. Like how do we look at those individuals and also looking at different diverse background of
Yeah.
individuals like in targeting them. And I look at the youth sometimes is
Yeah.
struggling to find those career changes. I want to pose this question. There's a lot of university students who will be graduating this year, and I think
Hmm.
we're going to promote this. We're going to promote this episode again when close to May. I think I'm going to ask our marketing individual to take some quotes out and snippets. What are some lessons that you can inspire to university students who are coming out of the university
Yeah.
and looking for jobs? Like what can you tell them? Because sometimes they just do the degree for the degree's
Yes.
sake,
I
but
and I
don't
I
like
did
and,
that.
and I did that too. I did that too. Like
Yes.
how can we allow university students to take other career options or be open to tap into different industries even though they're not working in the industry that they went to school for. Yeah.
Well, I'll just circle
That's a lot
back
of
to sort of,
questions.
well, yeah, I'm going to circle back to where I am now because
Yeah.
I'm 45.
Yeah.
I made this sort of career change a little later in life,
Right. Right.
and it just goes to show you, you never know where you're going to end up. So maybe I
Totally.
know when I graduated, because I went to university and then
Hmm.
I went to the Atlantic Media Institute for radio and television
Right.
broadcasting. Um, because when I came out of university and I was hired in a job that I wasn't well suited for, I was let go.
Yeah.
I always put my
Yeah.
heart and soul into
Yeah.
whatever I'm doing, but
Yeah.
it wasn't for me, and I wasn't well suited to that type of work.
Yeah.
And I would have let me go too, for the record.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
not great at it,
At
but
least
I
you
was
acknowledge it. Yeah.
devastated. I was
Yeah.
devastated when that happened. I couldn't believe it. It was right before Christmas, and I felt so lost. And what am I going to do? And then I ended up going back to school and taking. It was about a year and a half program for this the communications course, and I ended up in a career that I loved, and
Yeah.
I was able to find my footing there. And then, and when the time was right, I always say, like, timing is everything. Like,
Oh,
the time that
most
I ended up in
important.
this,
Yeah.
oh gosh, the time I ended up in this position, and like, it just, all I have to say is you just never know where life is going to take you. Enjoy the ride.
Oh,
And even those sort of setbacks along the way, they
right.
can lead to even bigger and better opportunities. That'll be
Totally.
my piece of advice. Yeah.
Totally,
Yeah.
totally. There you go, university students. There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Any university students going to be listening to this?
Yeah.
There you go. That's the advice. What advice would you give someone who wants to explore their leadership career
Hmm.
opportunities, taking that leap of faith to apply for a manager role? Sometimes
Yep.
they're not they feel like they're not qualified, but they're passionate and they're doing a managerial work, but they just don't know the leap of faith in that area. What advice would you give to them? Yeah,
So with HR or leadership,
yeah,
I guess realizing that role is like a living document and it's
yeah,
always growing and changing, and you
yeah,
have to be willing to learn and grow with it along the way. So
right,
any chance, like as I was mentioning, any chance you have to take a course,
yeah,
go to a conference, get
yeah,
out and network, be out in the
yeah,
community, you're letting that learning in, right?
yeah, mm,
And you're also making these really valuable connections as well. I spoke to a class the other day about volunteering.
yeah,
And if it wasn't for volunteering, let me tell you, I have done so much volunteering over the years. I was with the radio station, and that
okay,
sort of was part of my work with the radio station. Anybody who works in radio, they tend to do a lot of volunteering. So that piece of my resume, that focus on the volunteer work really helped me, I think, land this job that I'm in now because
wow,
I had my radio credentials, but then
right,
I had my community credentials. So if I could
yes,
offer any piece of advice as well, if you have the opportunity to get out and volunteer in your community and be engaged and be
yes,
involved,
yeah,
it really will help in whatever role you're in or whatever
definitely.
role you're applying for.
Definitely, I 100%
Yeah,
agree with you. Volunteering brings lots of opportunities. It
sure
brings a
does.
lot of connections. It brings a lot of, hey, I know this person. Let him do it. Or he's a great speaker. Let him do it.
Yeah.
Or just put him in this opportunity. And so,
Yeah.
and I always say, my mom, when I told her, I say, I'm going away for an opportunity. And she laughed about it, even though it was like just a joke. It's like, oh, what do you mean you're going away for opportunity? Because at first, an opportunity, I worked actually just for an opportunity. Didn't get paid while I was back home in the Bahamas. I worked for an opportunity, but then I started getting paid. I say like I'm still working for an opportunity. I'm still working towards opportunities because opportunities is what gets you further and
Right.
further and all that good stuff. And I use that word the phrase that you use. I'm taking the learning in. I'm taking in all the
Yes.
learning experiences that I can so
Yeah.
that when I'm at that point where I can also teach people, and I always say when you're in your career, like you, and I'm happy that you say that you're going to different classes and you're sharing your expertise. Don't hold the experience just to yourself. Share that so that other persons can learn, so that they can be ahead for their career path as well. Like that's really
Absolutely.
important. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Every day I learn something new and I love it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we're learning every day.
Yeah.
It's really important to know. And this has been so good. You've
Oh, thanks.
inspired us like so good. But before we go, we always say leave us with a quote of motivation that will inspire us all to move forward. That will give us a boost of energy
Oh.
to start our day or to end our day in a positive note. Yeah, yeah,
So this quote is not mine, but it resonates with me, so
yeah.
I want to share it. So it's from Babe Ruth,
Okay, okay.
and he said, "Don't let the fear of striking out hold you back."
Oh,
Because I was afraid when I
yeah,
was applying for this job, and I was like, "What if I don't get it, or whatever? What if I didn't get it?" So I didn't get it. I would go on to the next thing. I'm glad I did.
oh wow.
But what if I had let that hold me back from even applying? I wouldn't be sitting here talking to Templeton
Y-
today. Like I feel so fortunate and
Yeah.
lucky, but again, sometimes you got to take a chance on yourself, on a job,
Yeah.
go for it because the worst they can say is no. And then once I kind of get that mindset,
Yeah.
there was no stopping me. I was going to apply and whatever was
Wow.
going to be would be.
Wow, I love that. That's
Yeah.
really, really important. Go for it. don't let fear
Yeah.
stop you. Keep going,
Yeah.
keep pushing, keep knowing that you got this in the
Yeah,
midst of
and I didn't
every
check all the
obstacle.
boxes. You know what I
No.
mean? Like when I was
Yeah.
going through the job description, some of them
Yeah.
yes, but
Yes.
some of them I knew. Like I don't
You
come from the world of careers. This is
no,
not.
no.
This is new to me.
Yeah.
So I've been a quick study, but I don't.
Right.
It's not. It's not. It wasn't familiar to me. So um, I kind of thought, well, I'll give it my best shot
Yeah.
and show them what I'm about, and a willingness to learn,
Right, right.
right?
The
And here
willingness
I
to
am.
learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That willingness is so important.
Yeah.
Whew.
I like
Thank
sharing my
you.
story because
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I want other people who either are looking for work or they're looking to maybe change what they're doing
Yeah.
and just might have that hesitancy to give it a go. Like it is the best decision I ever made.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so important. Wow. And we're gonna invite you on again. I
Oh,
think I feel like
I look
I feel
forward
like
to
I feel like there's more that we can actually
it.
talk about and bring more expertise. So definitely, ladies and gentlemen, audience, you will be seeing Anne McGregor back on to the neighborhood conversations. But Anne, thank you so much for coming on today. We really do appreciate you having you and you sharing all your expertise to us. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Templeton, for the opportunity. It's been great chatting with you today. I really appreciate it.
No problem. At the Neighborhood Conversations, we try to invite inclusive people having inclusive conversations, and we had the amazing Anne McGregor. Thank you so much,
Oh, you're sweet. Thank you.
everyone, and we'll see you at the next episode. See you.
Bye bye.
This podcast is funded by the Government of Nova Scotia.